All right. Good evening, everybody. We're getting started here in a moment, just letting some people fill in. Let me know if the music's too loud. I can turn it down a little bit. I'll probably turn it down when we start anyway.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Season 3 awards ceremony. How's it going? We've got a lot of awards lined up for you. We're just going to go over the winners of each category. We will have full graphic details that have all of the votes that you guys cast, aside from just the winners, and also a special announcement.
Yeah, the full graphics will be going out maybe this weekend. That's what I'm aiming for, but gotta make them still. We just got the winners done for this one for the stream. It would be too long going through everything anyway, so figure have all these ready, announce the winners, and then we'll get a more complete looking graphic for everything.
Yeah, if we were to go over everything on stream, it would probably be another 2.5 hour stream or something, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've tallied your votes. And a lot of them were close battles. Some of them you may have been able to predict. Others took me by surprise. So without further ado, I guess we can get started. Everybody, everything ready for you, Toady?
Yep, everything's ready on my end.
Awesome, take it away.
All right. We're going to be opening up with our first category of the evening, which is the most valuable captain. Now, this award is voted on for just the Terra captains. Now, as a reminder, every team had two, had to sum up to a specific point value, and there was a standout. I think most people would agree, based on your votes, across all the divisions. But for starters, we will go to the Truant division. Which we have none other than Blood Moon Ursaluna receiving 6 votes, 15 KOs, a plus 12 differential, coached by Stormtide, and of course was also the KO leader for the division.
Never would have seen this coming.
Well, then you definitely won't see the next one coming, which I will give you the pleasure of introducing.
For the Swarm division, the Terra captain, most valuable captain, is none other than, you guessed it, Blood Moon Ursaluna with 18 KOs, 5 feints, plus 13 differential from Royce Snover, who once again is also the KO leader for the division.
Let's get a round of applause in the chat for Blood Moon Ursaluna, Terra Captain. Again.
Give it up for Blood Moon Ursaluna too.
And
But
finally,
surely something changes with the last division, so it's okay.
Don't worry, guys. Something changes. It is not the exact same. For the Hustle Division, the winner for the most valuable Terra Captain is Blood Moon Ursaluna!
Let's go!
However, this Blood Moon Ursaluna was not the KO leader of the division.
One of us is not like the other.
But it did still win most valuable captain. It's hard to say
Great
that
job, Ursaluna.
any of these
Great
were...
job. And round of applause. Woohoo.
It's hard to say that any of these were not deserved or unexpected. He was far and away just the best Terra captain to have on a team, period. It was just too good. In fact, good enough that would have been banned probably if we had known how good it was going to be. So, but that tends to happen. Sometimes somebody finds that one that slipped under the radar, and it kind of dominates the votes on that. Same thing happened with King Gambit last season. So maybe next season when there's a sleeper Terra Captain King that is just definitively the best, we'll give him its own honorary award as being the best, and then let you vote on the rest. So because this was not super interesting. Again, you guys all voted. You know who you voted for. I'm sure every single one of you remembers voting for this Pokemon in all three divisions. So
a little hard not to, honestly.
Yeah. You would you would actually be wrong if you didn't. So
with our next category, it's also to do with Terra Captains, but this is the Dynamic Duo Award. So as opposed to just being voting on one individual Terra Captain, it's voting for the duo, the tandem that worked the best together and had the most impact all around. For the Truant division, surely we've got something different. We have, with 5 votes from Roy Ace, Sinistra, and Okie Dogie.
Ursaluna's not on the screen, guys.
Wow. With that out of the way, surely nothing can go wrong for the rest of this
I think
category.
we're past the Bursa gauntlet.
Thankfully. I think so. For the Swarm division, with 4 votes, we have Royce Snovers, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, and Beartic.
Oh, there it is again. Oh, it's back.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Surely there wouldn't be another Ice type plus Bear combination in the Hustle division.
There's no way. It got
7 votes.
Statistically, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Ursaluna, Blood Moon, and Frostmoth.
Yeah, God, that's another.
Wow.
Another Ursaluna. Okay.
So amazing! Wow, great, good job.
I actually think that's the last time it appears, though. I don't think there's any. I don't think it qualifies for anything else. So.
I must say, though, I do think that out of the 3 Ursaluna combos that we had this season, I think Frostmoth put in the most individual value. I think Beartic was very strong. I don't remember what in particular was with Stormtide's Ursaluna, but I know that the Frostmoth had a very big hand in Riceman actually winning the division and getting to his his seed rather for playoffs. So definitely good to include the Frostmoth there. It's a good pick.
Yeah, don't forget the Blood Moon Ursaluna didn't come to like a few of his first games, if I recall.
The first couple games, yeah, and I don't think it teared all the time too.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. What's our next category?
Next category is the most valuable Mega Evolutions. So now this is it's all of the Megas, regardless of tier, all in the one category. Unlike the Terra Captains, it doesn't eliminate them from the tier voting, but they do get their own category just for Megas. So starting off, we're looking at the Truant division, and we have with 14 KOs. A +9 differential in 6 votes, coached by Shuckle Supremacy, Mega Gyarados.
Woo!
So
This little shrimp has
congratulations.
actually been devastating, and I think has it won a an award in every season so far?
It usually gets up there for sure.
Maybe not Mega every time, but I know that at least base Gyarados of some kind, wins a lot of awards every season. So
Yeah.
might have to
Yeah,
take a
I think it
deeper look
was
at
I
this
think it
one.
was regular Gyarados that like demolished the voting for Truant
Hmm.
last time.
True. Okay, and for the Swarm division, we have a Pokemon with 11 KOs, 3 feints, and 6 votes, coached by our favorite Glumly. We have Mega Lopunny. Good job, Glum. Your Lop was great.
Awesome. All right, I just noticed that you can't see my cursor now on this screen because I keep having to click back on it. All right, so finally for the Hustle division, we have another Mega for the most valuable Mega.
Crazy.
This this one is yeah, believe it or not, Mega Lopunny can Mega Evolve. It doesn't always do it, but it can. So in the Hustle division, though, we have a Mon with less KOs than we've seen with some of these categories, and that we will see with some of the future categories. But way less feints, and still achieving a pretty solid differential of +9, and that would be Overmat's Mega Aggron.
No,
You
this
don't.
was very, I don't want to say surprising, but it definitely took the division it kind of blindsided the division, right? Because Overmat actually picked up Aggron probably, what, I think week 4 or 5. It was at least halfway through the season and just went on a tear with it. And it carried him through a lot of the end of season battles. And unfortunately, he couldn't take it all the way to the finals that people kind of expected him to. But Aggron very quickly turned into one of Matt's favorites, and I expect to see him maybe drafting it in the future.
Yeah, it's nice to see a more defensive Mon get some of that recognition too in these polls, because a lot of times, you know, if people aren't familiar with every single replay or didn't watch every game live, or God forbid, all the replays get purged and you can't watch the
Yeah.
replays, going based purely on stats, some of these Mons sometimes go under the radar a little bit, not
Hmm.
just putting up big numbers. So nice recognition there for a defensive Mega that did a good job.
And speaking of recognizing things that maybe don't always have the best stat lines, we have the most valuable support category, where we vote on things like maybe just good hazard control, good walls, things that stop you from losing, things that glue your team together, just support for your team overall. A little bit of shout out to them because they don't always get the recognition they deserve. From the Truant division, we have brought 7 times and voted 9 Roy Aces Terra Sinistra. This thing was a monster. It also single-handedly won some games. I think Heat Proof plus Terra was a very, very strong combination.
Yeah,
And
any
this is
any
another
type
Mon.
effectiveness ability with
Yeah,
Terra is just really good.
yep, this is another Mon I'm going to keep my eye on for sure. This is, it definitely overperformed what I was expecting. From the Swarm division, we have another Terra Captain. It was brought 7 times and voted 4 times. From Coach Fennec Master, we have Terra Uxie. Once again, another defensive ability. Plus Terra makes a very strong captain, and I think Terra plus Mystical Fire and Draining Kiss was very strong for Fennec this season.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, definitely performed well. And finally, for the Hustle division, we have a Pokemon that was brought 8 times and doesn't always fill this support role, but was used in a supportive way, brought 8 times and voted for. It's Rice Man's Tapu Bulu. I
The
think
only
often it was
non-Terra
running,
captain.
yeah, it was something like Nature's Madness or Screens or Leech Seed a lot of the time. And yeah, I was really impressed with. Oh, wait, what's this? There's a message from our sponsor. Excuse me. Can't wait for NBA Season 4 to kick off? Tired of Nahyma always Johnning? Can't believe that Woshen didn't win Most Valuable Support. Well, look no further, for the first ever off-season tournament is here to save the day. Hosted by your favorite NBA player, Sweet Sorrows, definitely not a robot. The Woshen Cup will let you test your mettle against players you might not normally be able to play during regular season. Featuring the best snail in town, 16 players will face off in a 2-stage tournament consisting of 5 rounds of Swiss, with the top 8 moving to a seeded single elimination bracket to crown the victor. Signups will be live tonight. Make sure to reserve your spot ASAP. Now back to your regularly scheduled broadcast.
Thank you, sponsors. We'll go ahead and move on to our next section of categories here. They are the tier leaders. So these are the Pokemon that were separated into little brackets of point values on the draft. And we're just voting among those. No Terra Captains are included here, however, Megas are, and Supports obviously are as well. So starting off, we have the top tier. And within the top tier, we will start with the Truant Division with 9 votes. Melmetal of Team Metroshock takes the victory here.
The Melmetro.
The Melmetro.
Paired up with, I believe it was paired with Cresselia again.
Yep. The
very strong on TR.
combo.
Yep, Metro definitely used Melmetal very effectively once again.
And there was a lot of sacrificial padding of stats. So that would also make Melmetal look really good if you were just browsing the document and finding something to vote for. Not to say that it wasn't very good, because it was.
Yeah.
Much deserving of the award here. For the Swarm Division, we have actually a tie between 2 Pokemon at 5 votes. Here we have a familiar face from last season who appeared all over the awards documents. King Gambit, in this season coached by Royce Snover, and Roaring Moon, coached by Lee. Each of them, again, receiving 5 votes.
Turns out Dark is a good type.
That it is. And finally, for the Hustle Division, we have, once again, Roaring Moon, this time with 9 votes. And if you were wondering where that little KO leader note was on Blood Moon or Saluna for Hustle, it's actually over here on Roaring Moon.
I yoinked it. I was having none of that, Bear.
The only division where the KO leader was not a Blood Moon or Saluna. So congratulations to Roaring Moon on not only winning the top tier, but also
proving the Roaring Mid allegations false. This thing is a beast.
Yep.
Okay, on to our high tier category. This is only Pokemon from the 16 to 13 point range. For the Truant Division, we have a new appearance. Wait. With 6 votes, it's once again Shuckle Supremacy's Mega Gyarados. Surprise, surprise.
This thing just completely broke. All right, it's fixed.
Yep, very good pick. For the Swarm Division, we have another tie, but instead of being between dark types, it's between ground types. We have, with 4 votes each, Corey and his Mega Garchomp, and Leezy's Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen put on a surprising amount of work. I'm surprised to see it here in top tier, considering the amount of competition it has.
High tier.
Or sorry, in high tier, sorry, yes.
But I agree, I was also surprised.
Yeah, it almost feels like a mid-tier pick, but it definitely put in a lot of work, even for a high tier.
Yeah, a very flexible draft mon. I mean, I did vote for it, so I'm not entirely surprised, but I will say that's like, you know, yeah, you don't necessarily think of Nidoqueen immediately when you're thinking about high tiers, especially in today's meta.
I'd argue even at that for the Hustle Division, you wouldn't often consider this a high tier, but we do have, with 7 votes, once again, Overmat's Mega Aggron. for high tier of the division. I think it's in the same tier as Nidoqueen, actually. I think they're both 13, so they just barely meet the bottom requirement for being a high tier by technicality, but both of them coming out clutch and winning the division.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Moving on to the mid tiers. These are points 12 through 7. This is a lot of the glue that puts some teams together when you're looking to fill in some gaps that your top tiers are not able to cover. A lot of solid mods in these tiers. Sometimes really hard to pick, sometimes really easy to pick a winner for these. In this case, I would say it's very easy to pick at least one of the two tied winners in the Truant division because it is one of the greatest Pokemon of all time. Proud to say that I've helped get this Pokemon to where it's at. I've led the charge, you could say, of optimizing this Pokemon. Of course, Mega Blastoise won the award, and Ambipom. I mean,
there we go, another Toady Ambipom rant.
There's the Ambipom. Oh, Ambipom. So congratulations to Roy and Fairs with the.
This Blastoise was also very handy for Roy to eventually end up winning the Truant division at all. I think it left mostly unchecked, and kind of started to tear through teams. Even though it was the only spinner on the team, didn't need it. Just start punching holes and ask questions later.
Definitely benefits from the, I guess, like that banned move / banned ability kind of like underrated thing going on, where it's
True.
Like you think of Blastoise, you think Shell Smash, gotta do something about that. You think of Mega Blastoise, it's banned. What could it do?
Oh, it can't smash, it must be bad. And then it goes on to win MVP and win the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ambipom's still better though. Alright, for the Swarm division, we have another Mega. This one receiving 8 votes. It is Mega Altaria.
Woo!
A very cool
flexible
Mega.
mon. Yeah, very cool, very flexible. It was definitely the MVP for Martin's team on I believe this was the Hatsune Miku team.
I think so.
And yeah, not much else to say other than it did Altaria things and won games that it maybe shouldn't have.
Yeah. It's definitely it's one of the less like flashy mons that just kind of wins games like that. You kind of underrate it just by looking at it. And a lot of times, I know I've noticed this before, in seasons where you don't play against it or you don't see the matches that it plays in, you might kind of forget about it. But then you look at those stats and you actually look at some of the games that it does win, and it really does carry games.
Yep.
And finally, for the Hustle division, we have a mod that is having a bit of a resurgence just in the meta in general, receiving some nice buffs in the past couple DLC patches. We have Alomomola, coached by Riceman.
Yeah, getting Flip Turn was definitely a very big buff for Alomomola, and a very good pickup. And I also think we talked with Riceman in the post-season interview with him about how he used Alomomola. It was very good on his team and did exactly what he wanted. But I really liked how he drafted around Alomomola's weaknesses, making sure that it wouldn't be taken advantage of by the typical sub things with the Encore users he had in the back and the Noivern as well. So yeah, I think it was very clever building, and it put in a lot of work for him.
Full disclosure, I found out while making these graphics that it is Alomomola and not Alolamola.
Really?
I have been saying Alolamola literally every time I've seen it until.
Damn. Well, it's a palindrome, so it would have to be Alola Lola,
which is maybe better.
Alo la 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 la. Symmetrical, yeah, it's a palindrome. Yeah. Okay, anyways, for the next category, we have the low tier, which is the final point-based tier system division, which is just 6-1 points. So these are all of the things to kind of round out the team, get spend your last few points on some gimmick picks or some emergency hazard removal. Which, speaking of, with 7 votes, we have up first Sweets' Bramblegast for the Truant division. Some low tier emergency hazard removal. It ended up not really doing much of that though. It kind of, I think it just hit stuff, and maybe tried to set up some hazards or leech seed, or I don't remember it has leech seed, but
It is strength.
yeah,
set.
it was definitely not relegated to being only a spinner, which was nice to see.
Yeah, you get a couple of these kinds of mons that are just sort of at the bottom that end up being those backup emergency spinner rolls, but then a lot of times you find them doing a lot more than that in some cases. Sometimes there's just that one matchup that it just kind of dominates, and that's especially true with any grass types, like Bramblegast can just kind of fit in that role, sit in there and wall a particular physical water type or something like that. Fortress sometimes fills those same roles as a steel type. Cyclozar, I don't know if it really does that, but it's an emergency spinner sometimes.
Yeah.
Next up,
for the Swarm division, with 6 votes, a fan favorite pick, we have Royce Snover's Regirock. One of my favorites of all time. I love this mod. My favorite Reggie. Probably my favorite rock type as well. Very good pick. I think he brought it at least something like 4 times. It actually showed up. It actually made an appearance and put in a respectable amount of work for being low tier.
very nice.
And finally, for the low tier division or category, the Hustle division.
Yeah, the Hustle division, famously the low tier division of the Academy.
We have, with 6 votes, DJ Barrera's Hisuian Quillfish. Kind of a rain monster. I believe we saw it clicking Destiny Bond and Hazards, as well as Swords Dance, and is definitely not something you should under-prepare for on a rain team.
This mon has 1 weakness and can run Eviolite, by the way.
Yep, and with Intimidate, potentially, too.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
All right, the next section here is going to be the Coach Awards. So these are the things that we voted on at the bottom of the poll. A couple different categories about, the team compositions, about the players themselves, and a couple other acknowledgments towards the end. So getting started here, we have the Best Draft category. The Best Draft is who pulled the best draft. Some people might include trades in that just to say who ended up with the best roster. It's up to you how you interpret that, but essentially it's who had the best draft, who had the best roster. Doesn't matter how well they did. Though in a lot of cases, we might find that the teams that ended up at the top here were the teams that performed fairly well. Of course, for the Truant division, we have Roy Ace, the champion, and Sweets, who I believe finished the season at the top of the seeding. I don't remember for sure, but I know that he started out like 5-0 or 4-0. Certainly
Roy
2
Ace
very
actually,
good teams here.
I believe Roy Ace actually squeaked into playoffs barely.
Yeah.
And ended up winning out. So definitely something clicked during playoffs that enabled the team suddenly. But I agree, very strong draft, and I think it was one of my favorites as well during our review as well. As well as Sweets's, who I mentored Sweets, and so I got to help them build with the team, and definitely has a lot of tools to win, to pivot around, a lot of good blanket checks, good Terra captain choices, just good team.
For the Swarm division, we have another familiar face in these awards, and that would be Royce Snover, who, of course, had the Bear Core on his team.
Woohoo,
Royce
Bears!
Pulling in 5 votes for the best draft.
Yeah, we see Sloking Galler with a Slush Rusher. The the Terra Bear, or is it Barra Tear? With the Regirock voted low tier, the Captain duo voted high tier, voted Terra winners. King Gambit, Cinderace, Salamence, a lot of offense. Very good team.
Yeah. Royce says that he does not agree with this. I would say even the team itself, like, you could say what you will about how good the team is. I think people voted on it to just appreciate the dual bear Terra Captain too, because that's another aspect of best draft. It could have just been a cool draft.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be necessarily the best by, the common metrics. It could just be a fun draft, and it checks a lot of boxes. It's got the Bear Core, it's got the Quagsire and the Regirock, a lot of fan favorite picks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very good draft.
Finally, for the Hustle division, we have possibly an error. However, the winner of this award is, in fact, on stream right now, and I'll let him talk about his team.
Yours truly, Nahyma. I'm kind of surprised that I won this, to be honest, but maybe prepping against my team was harder than prepping with my team. I'm not sure. I didn't like that I had like quadruple 85 speed tier. I did like Terra Cresselia and Terra Quaquaval. They were very strong. And the top 3 from Goldengo, Roaring Moon, and Clefable were also very good glue. But I never felt like anything past Cresselia ever really fit. My hazard control was pretty garbage. I don't know. So I appreciate the votes. Thanks everybody. But kind of like Royce, it's one of those things that I think there's pros and cons, and I can see the pros. But maybe the 5 votes didn't care about the cons. I don't know. Who cares? Thanks. I'm glad to have won the division.
Were your Terra Captains the same the whole season?
They were.
Okay. Yeah, Quack as a Terra Captain's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, enough with the self-promo. The next category we have is the most honorable opponent. This can often be just people who were enjoyable to play with, people who, lost with grace and won with, people weren't toxic and stuff, weren't rubbing it in their noses. So we have from the Truant division, we've mentioned this person a fair amount. She got 4 votes in her very first draft ever. We have Kenpai. She made playoffs in her first draft, made it to quarterfinals where she was eventually eliminated by Roy Ace, I believe. Or maybe that was semifinals. I don't remember. But yeah, very good showing and pleasant time playing with you this season, Kenpai. From the Swarm division, we have also fairly new to the NBA with 4 votes. We have Fennec Master. Had a good showing. And yeah, played very well, and once again was a good time having you around. And from the Hustle division, we have our fan favorite player, AZ, also known as Sweet Sorrows, who will be hosting the Woshen Cup. Yeah, 6 votes. Definitely agree. It's always a pleasure to play with you. You're fun to play when you win. You're fun to play when you lose. And yeah, I agree with the votes. Good job, folks.
You just said it's fun. You're fun to play when you lose because that's when you're fighting against them. All right, next up is probably the highest merit that you can really achieve in the NBA. This is the funniest opponent award.
Yeah, this one has a lot of stakes on it.
And so for the Truant division, those stakes are very well deservedly gobbled up by the one and only Bobo Zab. Really took it to the next level with his commentary leading up to matches as the preview, which, there's only so much I can say on that, but there might be another opportunity too in the future. But yeah, you all know him. You've all heard his voice You've all heard him be probably wrong about a lot of things, but it was very funny when he was. So
Yeah, Bobo really did
Oh.
take it to the next level. I've never seen anybody put that much effort into shit talking their opponent before their battle every week. It was always funny to listen in on the clips you sent to the True in General, and to follow along with the storyline of the heel Bobo. It was a lot of fun. So thanks for making it a funny experience, Bobo.
next up for the Swarm division, we actually have a bit of a celebrity receiving the
Hold on,
most
is this
votes
also an
here.
error?
It's not, and it's actually worth noting that this is the most votes that any one person received for this particular award. This award goes to Toady.
Wait a minute. What do you have to say for yourself? Oh, you know what? I know what it was. It's because it was a pity vote because they didn't want to hear you ranting anymore. So they said, okay, just give him the award.
Now, the pity vote was for best mod when I'm not a mod. All right,
Well,
hold on, guys.
congrats
I'm going to say
on
something
winning.
funny, all right?
All right, I'm waiting. We've been waiting all season.
All right, I can't think of anything. All right, next up, we have the Hustle
Hold up,
division.
wait, go back to that. I like that. It was calming.
Just the music? All right, for the Hustle division, I just clicked it before even looking. It's Monkey Boy.
Woohoo!
Funny,
That Monkey
and
Boy.
now this is one of those times that you can sort of interpret it as not necessarily the person's funny, but they're just funny to observe because they're
Funny to observe
a
is good. Their
fool.
takes are funny. The way that they schedule is funny. The oh yeah, should I have to play this game is funny.
Their Discord name is funny.
True. Just an enigma of a player. So good job, Monkey Boy.
Yeah. We love our Monkey
Okay.
Boy.
For our next category, we now have the spiciest opponent. This is given to the player who people felt brought the coolest sets, the spiciest tech to their battles, and never knew how to prep for them. So for the Truant division, we have, with 4 votes, Storm Tide. Definitely a good pick here. Brought a lot of spicy sets. And yeah, just like I mentioned for the category, never really knew what Storm Tide was going to bring, and a good pick for the division. For Swarm, we have checks notes a 3-way tie with 3 votes between Dorky, Toady, and Leezy Peasy.
There he is again,
Any
that
thoughts
funny
on this?
guy.
There's that guy.
He's
What do you
so
think?
funny. I agree with this. I think the 2 other people that got it were actually the 2 people I voted for. Especially Dorky, because this was the first time that we really opened these polls up to also include like playoffs, since they were done entirely after the playoffs.
True.
And just watching the replay review of the Fling Weevil and on a
Was that
team
in finals too?
that was fun. I think it was finals because that was what we
I
watched
think
with
that
him,
was
right?
grand finals. Having
Yeah.
the gall to run stuff like that, yeah,
And
definitely. Spicy.
that's one of your higher tier mods. I don't remember exactly how much he was. That's one of your higher tier mods on a team with Lando T that you're also, like we established, they didn't really bring a lot because it just didn't really feel necessary. So you're using one of your highest tier mods that you're really bringing to these games, and you're running that set in finals. I have nothing but respect for the spice that he brought there.
Yeah, definitely
yeah.
started to take the spotlight a little more since we allowed playoff recognition as well. Definitely a benefactor of that, or a beneficiary of that, rather.
Yeah.
Okay, and the final for this category in the Hustle division, to nobody's surprise, he has won this award 3 years in a row, or 3 seasons in a row, rather, with 5 votes. It's DJ Barara back again.
We could
Which
honestly
is
just name it the DJ Barrera
the
Spiciest
DJ
Coach Award.
Barrera Award.
The
Yeah.
DJ Barrera Memorial Spiciest Coach Award.
Yeah. Once again, another season of crazy sets. It was so wacky how you didn't draft Rain and then dropped it all to draft Rain. Yeah, it was great showing by you once again.
The
And
real
unfortunately,
spice
like
was the
Metro said,
entire team we lost along the way.
We did lose the Reggie replay, unfortunately.
That is true.
So it will be lost, but it will never be gone.
Wait,
from our
no,
hearts
wait,
and
wait,
minds.
wait, 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 wait. Did we? Wasn't it one of like the legacy ones that we did a replay review of? There might be
we
a
may
VOD,
have a VOD
that
of
has
us
it.
reviewing it. That's true.
I can't remember if we
That's
like actually
very
reviewed
true.
it or not.
Well, I'm glad that we've memorialized it. It'll be around forever, but
Yeah.
we won't be able to share the replay link as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think it's still out there though. So is my utility umbrella Clefable unaware in sand setting up and winning a game because I wanted like a streamer like reviewed it, so it exists still. So finally, we have to acknowledge our champions. Again, this is post playoffs, so we already know who these winners are, but still worth giving the shout out. A cat just crashed into a trash can somewhere else in my apartment. I don't know if you could hear that. Probably did. The winner of the Truant division, taking down arguably the strongest mentor of all time, Roy Ace, came away with the victory there. Again, we already know the results of these, but give a round of applause to our winners.
Great job,
Yeah,
Roy.
Roy,
It's
for
a good,
Truant.
great season, and it was good to have you on for the interview last stream.
Yep, yeah, we did talk to all of these champions as well. So check out that VOD if you want to hear their thoughts on their teams and their seasons. For the Swarm division, we had Dorky, who we already just gave so much praise for the sets that he had. I guess you could say he had the balls to run. I was thinking of something with a flame orb, but couldn't really. You know, I'm too funny to like really make it into a joke, so it just kind of just said it normally. I think that's funnier.
Yeah, great job, Dorky. And as we've said before, this was his first time actually getting to draft a team, rather than just being shoved into Hustle to take over for a roster. So yeah, great showing, dude.
And finally, for the Hustle division, we had our champion, Riceman, who was the champion of the Swarm division as well this season before. So there's unfortunately not currently a division higher than Hustle for him to move up to and win. So he's going to have to just keep Hustle on farm for now. Though, as Nahyma said, Hustle is the low-tier division.
That's true.
So maybe he could give Truant a shot next season.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
He'll just go around the world.
Yeah.
Stack overflow. Okay. For one of our last awards, we have a shout out for the winners of the bracket challenge. So we've got them all just on one slide. Let's just head to that. We've got, for the Hustle bracket, Riceman predicted himself to win, and he did. So good job. He got 4 out of 7 picks correct with 8 points.
The anti-P-Bros.
For the Swarm bracket, I'm not too sure who submitted it.
We
It was
don't
submitted
know
anonymously.
we don't know whose bracket this is.
But,
and we're not
Dwight
paying
from
for
the
premium
future-
to see their email address either. So if it's
Dwight from
yours,
the future
claim your
won
prize.
The Swarm division.
Yeah.
Once again, 4 picks, only 5 points because the early picks were correct. They actually predicted Fennec Master to win, which was obviously incorrect.
Obviously incorrect. It's such a
Obviously,
weird way
well, it
to
was.
say
We just went over it.
Yeah, I know. It
Anyway,
just
for the
sounds
Truant
so
bracket, we
mean.
had a tie with you yourself, Toady, who predicted
yeah.
Metro to win, and Lethal Blue Sun Zenith, who expected Kenpai to win. And although neither of those results came true, a lot of your picks along the way were correct. You both had 4 picks correct with 5 points. So good job. Shout outs to you guys.
I just realized that despite the difference in actual point values and the scores, all of the winners had 4 out of 7 picks correct.
Yeah. So the overall winner would be Riceman by technicality because of the extra points you got for naming yourself as the victor.
Is that a thing? I think it's more just for getting the later rank, or the later
No, yeah,
rounds
it's for
correct.
getting your. Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying you get the extra points for naming the correct winner, and
Yeah.
the fact that he named himself.
I
meant that
see.
he did that.
I thought you were saying that like because it was himself
No.
winning that he got extra points. It's like that doesn't seem fair. All right, the last category that we have here is of course last place, which is sort of the all-purpose, kind of most memorable, but also funniest thing that happened, biggest oopsie. So many things fall into this category, but
The
only
Goofy
one.
Award.
Only one winner per division. We have for the Truant division something that we already went over, which is the Heel Award for Bobo Zab, of course, with his trash talk prior to every match that you could find in the Discord channels. Though the replays may not have survived, the pregame did. So
Yeah,
you
it
can
was
go
so funny always
find out what
listening in on
was
these-
probably going to happen. So
Yeah, this was next level stuff once again. So congrats, Bubble Zab, and also I do personally enjoy seeing how all of the votes fell for this category in particular. We will post everything else later on, so don't worry, we will get everything out.
Yep. For the Swarm division, we had, I think, what many would consider to be the shoe-in vote for this. In the first
highlight of the Swarm season.
The first of now 2 Google Slides presentations taking place on this stream. The Real NBA Patriot Award, which was for Mudkip creating a PowerPoint replay versus Royce after both players forgot to save the real one. And look how that turned out. It is the only surviving replay of that week. So
This post was fact-checked by Real NBA Patriots. Checkmark true.
Yep. Just dedication to the craft.
That kills
That's
me.
all there
Holy
is to
crap.
it.
Yeah,
And
that
finally-
that was beautiful. Good job.
For the Hustle division, we have a more classic last place award. This one's for a mistake that kind of solidified itself as just a really funny thing to look back on. And that was the Man of Steel Award with Zeb's Excadrill running Iron Defense instead of Iron Head. A mistake, at least, that many people can relate to in some way, whether it was Iron Defense versus Iron Head or Sludge versus Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb. It happens. It's just really
Classic
funny
Iron
when it
Defense,
does happen.
Earth Power.
Yep. So
This did actually happen, right? This wasn't just Mandela effect.
no, this
We
happened.
didn't
We
didn't
don't have a
gaslight
replay to
ourselves
prove
into
it.
believing that it happened. Okay.
It was like the reason that he lost too, because he would have
Oh.
swept if he had Iron Head.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. So
That's it for our awards. Yeah, thanks again for an amazing season. We hope to see you in the off-season Woshan Cup hosted by our favorite Sweet Sorrows. And yeah, remember that there's only 16 spots available. So as soon as the sign-ups go live, make sure to try and reserve your spot. You guys who came out to stream will know about it a little bit beforehand and that it's coming out, so you have a bit of an advantage. But yeah, thanks again for a great season.
hold on.
Oh.
Lethal brings up a good point. Wasn't there one more category? That, in fact, there was.
Oh,
The mods! Thank you, of course, to all 3 of our moderators. I am not a mod. Anybody who voted for me, you got the question wrong. That was not a popularity test. That was a do you know which of these people is actually a mod?
yeah.
And
Pick
at
3.
least 5 of you were not correct. So, yeah, all of our mods did great. Thankfully, none of them will have to be executed live on stream. So,
Crap. I was looking forward to that.
yeah, but yeah, all the mods were great. You can't pick a favorite,
Exactly. We're all the favorite.
but Lee's my favorite.
Wait.
I voted for Lee. So,
Well, Okay, well, thanks again, everybody, once again, and I think that's all we've got. So make sure to sign up for the Woshen Cup later tonight, probably within the next like 10 minutes, honestly. And yeah, any final words?
My final words are that Nahyma did actually win the question.
Adios.
Yeah. See you guys.